The morning sun hung low over the hills of a sleepy, forgotten corner of the world, casting long shadows across a porch that had seen better days. Jed Clampett stood by the doorway, his eyes fixed on the horizon with a quiet, contemplative air. Beside him, the air was filled with the sounds of a life lived simply, a life where the rhythm of the day was dictated by the rising and setting of the sun rather than the ticking of a clock. It was a time for reflection, for the weight of responsibilities was a familiar burden. Jed was a man of the earth, a mountaineer whose weathered hands had spent a lifetime coaxing survival from the rocky soil. His family was his world, and providing for them was the singular purpose that drove him through the grueling hours of labor that defined his existence. One day, while hunting for food to put on the table, a strange and unexpected occurrence shattered the monotony of the rugged landscape. A single shot echoed through the silence, followed by a low, rumbling sound that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the earth. From the ground, where once there had been only dirt and rock, a dark, viscous substance began to bubble up, a black liquid that shimmered with an oily sheen. Jed approached the sight with a wary curiosity, his instincts as a man of the wild struggling to interpret the phenomenon. It was oil, of course, a discovery that would irrevocably alter the trajectory of his life and the lives of those he held dear. The people around him called it black gold or Texas tea, terms that felt alien and strange on his tongue, yet hinted at the immense value of the treasure he had stumbled upon. With the first sign of his sudden wealth, the life of old Jed took a turn that neither he nor his kin could have anticipated. He was now a man of means, a millionaire by the standards of the outside world, yet he remained fundamentally unchanged in his heart. The kinfolk, gathered around him with eyes wide with wonder, urged him to leave the familiar surroundings that had been his home for generations. They spoke of California, a land of promise and opportunity, a place where a man of his stature could thrive. They told him that it was the place he ought to be, and so, with a heavy heart, Jed and his family began the arduous process of loading up the truck. Their humble possessions were packed away, and they embarked on a journey that would take them far from the life they had known. Their destination was Beverly, a place that existed in the stories they had heard as a land of luxury and opulence. Hills, they were told, were the defining feature of this place, a place where swimming pools were as common as the streams they had left behind and movie stars walked the streets like common folk. They were the Beverly Hillbillies, a name that would soon become synonymous with their unique brand of simplicity and grace. As they arrived, they were greeted by a world that was as dazzling as it was intimidating. The streets were wide and clean, the houses were grand, and the people moved with a frantic energy that was entirely foreign to the quietude of the mountains. "Are you going down to your agent's office this morning?" Jed asked, his voice soft and thoughtful as he looked at the young, ambitious man standing before him. "That is right, sweetie," the man replied, his eyes gleaming with the fervor of his pursuits. "Well, would you take along a basket full of baby critters and find good homes for them with some of your movie star clients?" Jed inquired, a hint of concern in his tone. The young man, known as a boy genius by those who surrounded him, looked at the basket with a mixture of amusement and disdain. "Well, I mean, you cannot ask a boy genius to do something like that," he protested, his stature inflated by his own perceived importance. "Well, I am not some nice canoe," the young man continued, a sharp edge to his voice. "Watch that mouth, kid," another voice interjected, a warning that cut through the air. "I could make you a break in this town," the young man countered, his arrogance undiminished. "Well, just take along a couple," Jed suggested, his patience wearing thin. "I will be back in a minute," he added, before stepping away to attend to more pressing matters. "Hey, careful. You have hair all over my new Edwardian outfit," the young man shouted, his concern for his appearance trumping all else. "What outfit?"
someone asked.
"Edwardian," the young man replied, his voice dripping with pretension. "I do not know Ed personally, but he is the hottest tailor in town," he added, unaware of the absurdity of his statement. "Well, would you take along a few, if I put them in a basket?" someone persisted. "No, baby, you get Granny to help you peddle them," the young man dismissed, already looking past them to the next opportunity. "Well, Granny is busy. She is out front giving Pa a haircut," was the response. "Out front?" The young man repeated, his shock evident. "Well, Pa was out there shortening knives and copying shoes and mending a chair, and Granny says the light is better out here," the observer explained. "Oh, there goes the neighborhood." The young man sighed, his frustration mounting. "How am I going to keep my image as a world-famous celebrity with them hayshakers cluttering up the front of the mansion?" he demanded. "Go tell them to get out of sight," he ordered. "Well, you go tell them," the other replied, challenging the young man to confront the reality of their presence. "My limousine is going to be here any minute with my chauffeur, gopher, flunkies, and stooges," the young man said, his eyes scanning the horizon for his transport. "What are they going to think if they see Granny cutting Uncle Judd's hair?" he questioned, his vanity taking center stage. "I will just give you a good shot of my homemade scalp stimulator," Granny announced, her voice filled with a confident pride as she approached with a mysterious concoction. "That stuff is kind of smart, Granny," Jed noted, a wry smile on his face. "Well, that is a sign it is getting right down to the works," she explained, her focus unwavering. "You look like a done-hit bone," she commented, her eyes squinting as she examined the scalp. "What is in that stuff?" someone asked. "Oh, mostly turpentine, ginger, with a lye base," Granny revealed, her tone matter-of-fact. "Oh, man," the observer recoiled, the potency of the mixture clearly evident. "How quick are you going to be done here?" the young man asked, his impatience palpable. "Sit down, I will get to you in a minute. Just as soon as I finish Jed's hair," Granny instructed, her authority absolute. "Now, I have to see if there is any teeth that needs pulling," she added, her eyes scanning the area for her tools. "My teeth are in fine shape, doctor," the man protested, his discomfort growing. "I will be the judge of that," Granny declared, her voice firm. "Jethro can wait," she added, dismissing the young man's protestations. "Well, what if one of them Sachin buses full of tourists comes by here?" Jethro asked, his anxiety rising. "They will just have to wait their turn," Granny decided, her composure unmoved. "The buses come by because there is a famous celebrity lives here," Jethro argued. "The boy is right, Granny," Jed agreed, his voice thoughtful. "Oh, now, I am a fair barber and a good dentist and a brilliant doctor, but I am not famous," Granny clarified, her humility at odds with the reality of their notoriety. "I am the celebrity, the boy genius agent of Hollywood," Jethro proclaimed, his chest puffed with pride. "I thought you had given up that agent business," Jed remarked, a touch of skepticism in his voice. "Are you kidding? I am the president of J.B. Enterprises, Incorporated," Jethro exclaimed, his eyes alight with ambition. "I've got the whole 5th floor down in Mr. Drysdale's bank building," he boasted, his stature seemingly growing with every word. "I've got secondary, stooges, flunkies, chauffeurs, limousines," he listed, his voice filled with a rhythmic cadence. "People are calling me Mr. Show Business," he added, his confidence unwavering. "What people?" Jed asked, his eyes narrowing. "Them people," Jethro gestured vaguely toward the horizon. "Is that the tour bus coming?" he wondered aloud. "Oh, that is my limousine," he realized, his excitement growing. "Now, get out of sight, quick," he ordered, his urgency overriding all else. "Good morning, stooges and flunkies," he greeted them, his voice projecting a false sense of authority. "Good morning, Mr. Show Business," they chanted in unison, their obedience absolute. "Dead," he muttered, his eyes fixated on something unseen. "Did you not see that?" he asked, his voice trembling. "No, Granny, I missed that," Jethro admitted, his confusion evident. "I am sorry, Chief. Mr. Show Business is not in his office yet," an assistant explained, his voice apologetic. "That nut owes me $5,000 in rent, and the voice of authority boomed, echoing through the room. "What did you call him?" the voice demanded. "Mr. Show Business," the assistant repeated, his voice barely a whisper. "That is what Jethro likes to be called," the voice stated, the frustration evident. "Now, just wait till I see him," the man vowed, his resolve hardening. "I do not have a few minutes," he declared, his impatience mounting. "You are the names I want to call him," he muttered, his anger simmering. "Ah, Mr. Show Business," he greeted Jethro, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Did your Uncle Sugar send the check for the rent?" he asked, his tone demanding. "Certainly not," Jethro replied, his composure maintained. "I do not take charity," he asserted, his voice firm. "That is me, Baby J.B. Jethro Bodine," he introduced himself, his confidence returning. "Or you can turn it the other way around and you have B.J. Boy Genius," he added, his smile widening. "B.J. Boy Genius?" the man repeated, his tone questioning. "B.J. Big Jerk," he concluded, his disdain clear. "Right there," he gestured, his eyes burning with intensity. "Good morning, J.B." a voice chirped, a smile on her face. "Oh, you are my new receptionist," Jethro recognized, his eyes lighting up. "That is right, J.B., she replied, her voice soft and pleasant. "Gang, tell her what they call me now," Jethro commanded, his voice filled with pride. "Mr. Show Business," they chanted, their enthusiasm contagious. "Jethro, wait a minute. I want to talk to you," the man interjected, his voice demanding attention. "Has he got an appointment?" the receptionist asked, her voice concerned. "No, sir," the man replied, his frustration growing. "Sorry, sweetheart. I am all jammed up now," Jethro dismissed, his focus diverted. "Leave your card, and I will try to get to you next week," he added, his voice dismissive. "See that I am not disturbed." "Huh?" he instructed, his authority reinforced. "Come on, gang," he commanded, his voice leading the way. "I am sorry," the assistant apologized, his eyes downcast. "Now, look, miss," the man began, his voice firm. "Now, wait a minute, I know you," he realized, his eyes widening. "You work for me," he accused, his voice rising. "Not anymore," she replied, her voice firm. "For $10, Mr. Show Business promised to double my salary," she explained, her voice filled with disappointment. "He has not any money," the man stated, his disbelief evident. "Are you kidding?" she asked, her voice incredulous. "He pays $5,000 a month just for these offices," she countered, her voice firm. "Jethro, we have business to discuss," the man stated, his tone serious. "Can you not see I have an office full of people?" Jethro countered, his eyes scanning the room. "Yes, I can," the man replied, his voice calm. "And how do you intend to pay them?" he questioned, his gaze intense. "Hand to me." Jethro shrugged, his confidence unshaken. "No sweat, baby," he added, his voice light. "Just one picture like The Sound of Music, and I am well," he declared, his ambition unbound. "You do not have a picture like Sound of Music," the man pointed out, his voice skeptical.